Can the Auburn Tigers beat LSU on Saturday? Maybe I'm bugging, but I've got a weird feeling about it.
Well, Zach, I actually just finished crushing some chicken farm, and I am freaking ready to rock and roll.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by Upside. Download the free Upside app and use promo code LOCKED to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. Happy Charlie Tuesday to all who celebrate. We're celebrating today with Auburn message board legend Charlie 5 joining us. And man, maybe I'm booging. Maybe I'm drinking the crazy juice.
Let me have some.
I've got a weird feeling about this game coming up on Saturday. Everybody's counting Auburn out. The money in Vegas is going to, LSU minus 7.5. I just have a weird feeling that Auburn's got one more in them.
Is it possible that even though we're not recording at Barbaritos, that you possibly ate at Barbaritos and you're experiencing a little bit of a stomach gas, possible issues? That could that be the feeling? Because I have no idea how we will score a football, how we will score a point in this game against LSU. I don't help me see your vision. Help me with your vision.
You and I were talking about this before Harsin's press conference yesterday.
Yes.
The feeling started to go away a little bit. The Tay Johnson news, not great. Out 6-8.
Out.
But what if we move guys around up front? What if we saw a little Brandon Council at center and little Cam Stutz, Keandre Jones at guard?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not try it?
I mean, I would have said that the first 3 games, though. Why not? It's not like anything worked the first 3 games. So, what are we going to magically, after we get a bunch of people hurt, we're just going to magically find that, that formula? I don't know.
Yes.
Crazy things happen. Yes. Maybe so. It can't get worse.
How can you in good faith roll Jaleel Irvin out there? How can you do that?
You can't, unfortunately. You can't, unfortunately.
And I hate it. I hate calling out individual dudes, but it's we saw it in the bowl game. I guess the glass half full way to look at it is maybe he was thrown into the fire, he wasn't expecting to play that much. That's the orange and blue glasses way of looking at it. But I just, you gotta play your 3 guards. I think that's what you got to do.
Sure. But still, though, you're going to have to say that, first of all, would you agree that if we can't throw the ball, if we can't throw the ball, we can't win, right? Would you say that? Is that pretty fair?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. So we can't. That's just not. It's just for whatever reason we just don't. We don't have the guys to be able to block, to be able to throw the ball, and then we don't seem to have the connection between the quarterback and the receivers to be able to throw the ball. So the only way the only way we're ever going to move the ball is if we can run. And we averaged, I know you can count sacks and stuff into it, but sure. Tank averaged 2.3 yards a carry. Jarquez averaged 1.9 yards a carry. Damari Alston averaged 1 yard a carry. And then we had John Samuel Shanker on a speed sweep against Missouri. And
he joins us in a little bit. At the end of the show,
you asked him that question about that.
I asked him, you got to run the ball. You'll hear it in a second. He's like, yeah, it's cool when they call it, but when you get the ball in that defensive end in your face, it's not that great. So no. Yeah, we talk about that with him in a second.
Yeah, don't run that with any other tight end except for Brock Bowers. Otherwise, that's tough. But no, how are we going to run the ball? The LSU is killing people on run defense. They're 4th in the conference. And 4th in conference in the stop and the run. Their quarterback's going to run around and, depending on his health, he can run around and give us problems. We saw 2 mobile quarterbacks from lesser schools at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I see this could be I could
Jordan
see
Hare at night. Jordan Hare, 6:00 kickoff.
That's true. But
SEC
how
game?
Is that Jordan Hare at night on the fourth home game after the first 3 games that we've seen, is it going to be the same Jordan Hare that it could be if we were the fifth game, if we were 4-0, or we didn't get slacked by Penn State, or we looked good against San Jose State and then looked half decent against Missouri? Like, is the enthusiasm going to be there? I
think in the stadium it will be. I mean, Jordan Hare, like, I hate what Auburn's done outside of the stadium, but as far as like in stadium game day atmosphere, like, you're not going to find many places better than Jordan Hare. And I think once they play the video and we get to see the whole Harsin just watch thing, like, it's hard, even if you don't buy it. Like, it's still like you're going to get pumped up if you're in there.
Is this the stripe the stadium one too? Like, we're striping the stadium. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like that never works. But no, whatever. No, I mean, I just hope we can keep it close going into the fourth quarter. Maybe get a kick, or maybe get a big play or something late.
Right, so we talked about offensive line, changing up the offensive line.
Yeah.
What else? And I posted this question on Twitter, and of course everybody's like, burn everything down. That's not really what I was asking for, but it should have been what I expected. But what would you do differently? I mentioned the offensive line personnel changes. What about, like, why don't you think we've seen like a lot of throws behind the line of scrimmage? Why has that not been a part of it? We've talked about quick passing. We've talked about leaving guys in to block, whether it's extra tight ends and running backs, which I think we saw a little bit of. But what would you do? What would you do?
Yeah, if it were me, I would have 4 wide receivers spread out as far as you could go. And I'd have Robbie back there and let him kind of pick one way to go. Run left, run right, quick passes, chunk one deep every now and then. Like, do everything you can to keep people out of the box so that Robbie can be a dynamic. That's really your only option.
Is there a game plan since Harsin's been here on offense? On defense, obviously the Iron Bowl is something. But on offense, where you've been like, that game plan was awesome. Has there been a moment like that for you?
The first half of Mississippi State last year, where we scored 5 straight touchdowns, I was like,
I think you can say the first half of several games, though. Like, first half of Ole Miss was really, really good too.
Yeah. But we can't make adjustments. We don't make adjustments after it. Like, it's once the script runs out, it's tough sailing after that. Tough sledding.
Do you think it's a script, or they just don't, like, they just limit themselves on like plays and preparation? I don't buy into the whole script thing as much as everybody else does.
Yeah.
Like, that may have been the first drive, maybe. But like, the second drive, they scored because Derek Hall got a pick and ran it back, and they only had to go, get it down to the 30, something like that. It was honestly a short field.
And honestly, Justin Hokanson said this. It wasn't really pretty, like how we scored. I mean, essentially, it was we ran for a couple of yards at a time, and then Robbie would drop back to pass, and then run around and get the first down. Like,
yeah, but who cares? Like, who cares how pretty it looks?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, even the script stuff looks tough. Like, even the script stuff is hard for us to pull off. Like, that's the stuff that you go out there and you say, okay, we're going to run these 15 plays to start the game off, and that's what you practice on walkthroughs and all that stuff. And like, even the script stuff looks so difficult for us to execute. I don't know, man. This year, I haven't seen an offensive game plan that looked somewhat like cohesive, or like it made sense. So I'm with you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You know what else is tough, Charlie 5?
What's that?
Going to the pump, fill up your car, and the gas prices are being ridiculous. Or getting a bill at your favorite restaurant. You're out with your family, and it's like, it's almost double what it used to be. Well, our friends at Upside don't want you to find yourself in this situation. We've all been there. Upside is an incredible app for anyone who buys gas, groceries, or dines out. Do you do those things, Charlie 5?
I do. Yeah, sir. I'll do all those. Yes.
Yep. I do all three. With every purchase, you can get cash back thanks to Upside. To get started, download the free Upside app. Use promo code LOCKED, LOCKED, to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. All you have to do is claim an offer in the app, and then you take a picture of the receipt, and then boom, it processes. And the next day, usually, there is cash back, real money in your Upside app. And the cool thing is like you don't have to get a certain kind of gift card or anything like that. It can get transferred through PayPal, or I think you can do a direct deposit to your bank as well. So download the free Upside app. Use promo code LOCK to get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. That is promo code LOCKED. Charlie 5.
Yes.
You disagreed with something I said on the show yesterday.
It's not so much. I don't want to say that I disagreed. I just wanted to see. I wanted to get your opinion on possibly another perspective. You mentioned that it's very important for bowl practices to get to a bowl, for the bowl practices and development, and this, that, and the other. And I do agree that is important in general. In general, that's important.
Well, but I want to clarify. You said this, that, and the other. And so other things that I said was the importance of, guys that maybe aren't getting a whole lot of reps and a whole lot of practice reps and game reps during the season. Maybe some younger offensive linemen that you don't think were ready yet. Or if you think Holden Gurner's the guy next year, Robbie's the guy next year, or TJ's the guy next year, whoever it may be, you get to have them, perform more reps throughout spring practice. That was kind of the argument I was making.
Sure. And, Tommy Tuberville used to call that the toilet bowl in bowl practices, where the young, he'd have like big young guy scrimmages and stuff like that. I get it. On the surface, if it's one coaching staff and it's going from the year to the next, I think it's huge. Now, I'm not saying that I don't want to make a bowl. That's not what I'm saying. But we're going to have some type of transition. At this point in time, with how quick signing day happens and how quick the portal, they got this new portal period now. You can't just be in the portal forever. You get to enter the portal the minute that the playoffs are announced, and then that's a limited time after that. So, I mean, I know coaches can come in, and coaches they can have interims running the team while the real coaches are hiring each other and recruiting and whatnot. But it's like, is there a chance the practice could be a distraction from that? Because I cannot think of something more important than recruiting and the portal in December, having official visits, having whatever you can do to get going out on the road and evaluating, going out on the road and visiting. I think there's a rule now that if you take an official visit to a school and then that coach is no longer there, you get to take another official visit. So like we get a chance to re-recruit all our guys, and like we want them in here, no distractions. They've seen practice before. Like I'm almost to the point where I'm like, hey, maybe it's not such a bad thing if we don't make a bowl, because the new staff gets to get in here with no distractions and they get to be intimate with the team. You got tons of time to learn the players, figure out who wants to be here, who needs to move on.
But you can do all of those things during bowl practices, though.
You can. You're right. There is a chance that you can do that, but there's cross. You just got other coaches. You got other coaches coaching your team while you're there. You know what I mean?
These high school kids are so smart and so aware of what these processes are now. I think they'd understand that. Follow-up question.
Sure.
Would you say that December will be prime time for Auburn recruiting?
I see what you did there. I
didn't do anything.
God, that would be awesome. It should be prime time for recruiting in December. December needs to be prime time recruiting. I hope that it is for us, but I don't see that it will be. I think we'll have a very good. I think we'll have a very intense recruiting. I don't think it'll be prime.
It's really, you just got to get in on the trenches, and it's a little grimy.
I think it could get a little grimy. I'm not. You're gonna have to get grimy to get down. Get down in there and win those battles and make.
Or
it happen.
Don't worry about what other schools do, and you got to stay in your lane.
Oh yeah. Or, sometimes you got to freeze and pay attention. You got to stop moving. You just got to freeze and you got to pay attention.
See that coming. Well done. Well done.
It's going to be interesting. Got to get once we get the AD in, and then hopefully any minute now, any day now.
You think that'll be quick? You think we're almost done with that?
I think it'll be pretty quick, and then go. You're not going to have one thing we have to understand. Okay, let's kind of shift gears a little bit. One thing you have to understand: if it's one of these things, we got to have Harsin out. You got to find blah blah blah. You're not going to see a new coach until the season's over.
Can you do your voice of public opinion again?
Yeah, we got to get Harsin out. He's got to be gone. We got to go. Blah, 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 blah. Whatever you say, the things that you say, it doesn't mean we're going to have a new coach any faster. So,
right,
understand that you're not going to hire anybody in October, or you're not going to hire anybody in November. It's whatever happens, it's going to happen after the season. So understand that. Don't be discouraged by that, because that is how literally all coaching searches happen. Like, I can't even think of the last time a new coach was hired for a new team in the middle of a season. Like, I just don't think that happens ever.
Can I do a PSA while we're talking about this real quick?
Yes.
All of the flight tracker stuff is crap. Stop it. I have a weird amount of friends that are in aviation, and
Dion has not been to Auburn. Just understand that.
Even like the way it, like Harsin never was on a university aircraft. No coach or potential coach will be on a university aircraft. What they did with Harsin is they hired a charter plane and they took him to a location, and they met him at a hotel, like in the middle of the country somewhere. Like, you're not going to be able to find it through tracking. So
they don't fly
in Oxford flying to Auburn, or Jackson, Mississippi was a big one. And then, like, I sent the details to a contact I have over there, and they sent me a picture of what the plane was. And I'm like, yeah, Dion's not flying in that. Like, stop it. Just stop it. You're not going to be able to track it. You're not going to be.
They're not going to fly into Auburn Airport and then go meet at Mama Goldberg's and have lunch. That's not what's going to happen. They're not going to go tour Sanford Hall, throw toilet paper in a tree. You're never going to see Dion throwing toilet paper in a tree or at Niffers, like all the hot Auburn spots that we're supposed to love. Like, you're not going to see Dion there. You're not going to see.
It's really a shame, because I think if Dion had some corn nugs from Niffers,
it'd be game over.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we could pick any coach that we wanted there.
I tell you what, you take Lane to Byron's in the morning, just go ahead and they might sign his contract right there. Let's go. No, it's not going to happen. Stop it with a flight tracker. It's not.
Charlie 5, how can we're about to jump into a conversation with John Samuel Shanker, but how can people find you, hear you, and all that stuff?
Absolutely. Find me on Twitter at @the_Charlie_5 in the Locked On Auburn Discord, Auburn Live, the Corner Message Board, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday on the Dad Bod Golf Pod.
Before we jump into our conversation with John Samuel Shanker, Charlie 5, you shop at Alumni Hall. I shop at Alumni Hall because we respect ourselves.
We do.
Right. I mean,
we love our families.
We care about the people that we buy clothes for, because we understand that Alumni Hall is the most legit place to buy Auburn gear for you, your friends, your family,
even your pets.
Even your pets. Don't buy something from somewhere else for somebody you love. That is silly. That is absolutely silly and absolutely ridiculous. So go to Alumni. It might. But if you get them something from Alumni Hall, what does it mean?
Oh, it's love. All around.
Straight love. So go to alumnihall.com. You can check out all of the stuff that they have. They even have NIL related things now. So go to You Love NIL. I love NIL. You're wearing an On to Victory shirt right now.
I can't figure out the reverse.
It's backwards. Yeah, it's weird.
It's backwards.
But yeah, go to alumnihall.com. Check out all of your favorite Auburn gear, or they have physical locations in Auburn and Opelika. Thank you for Alumni Hall for sponsoring the show. Joining us as he does every week, Auburn tight end John Samuel Shanker, courtesy of the Crawford Willis Group at eXp Realty. John Samuel, I know you've played a lot of football in your life and played in a lot of games. As far as endings go, where does this past one rank? I mean, just a crazy last few minutes of this contest.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely up there at the top. You got to keep playing the play. We talked about that all week, is, just finishing everything that we do. And, there's mistakes made, penalties, give us another chance, gave them some chances. And we found a way. We're not real sure, how some things worked out, but they did. And we're thankful to have the win.
Yeah, so you guys go out there in overtime and get some points. Anders nails a kick. And then you're watching on the sideline Could you see him in the live rep? Could you see him fumble it, or did you have to watch on the jumbotron? What was your reaction? Kind of take us through that.
I was watching it live, and then he got out of my vision there when he went down the sideline. So I went up to the big screen, and it looked like he was going to score. And then you just see the ball just spit out there at the end, and it looked pretty clear in live that it was out before the goal line. But they had to make sure, obviously,
Sure.
with that big of a play. But I thought for sure that it was out. So that was just a crazy minute or so there just waiting on that call. But yeah, that was, that's something we teach a lot, reaching the ball out for the end zone, just making sure that you have a good grasp on it. Keontae forced it a little bit, made him reach, and he fumbled the ball.
Yeah. Crazy ending for sure. Yeah, I was about to ask you, how do you guys work on that? And how does this coaching staff kind of teach when it's okay to reach and when it's not okay to reach?
You don't want to reach really unless it's the end of the game and that's your last chance to score, like if time's out or something. You never want to do it for that reason. If he didn't reach and he just ran out of bounds, they're probably on the one. The only time you'd ever do that is if it's your last ditch effort to score to win the game. That's really the only time that we would want to do that.
Right. John Samuel Shanker. So the first two drives, you guys scored touchdowns. That second one was a short field, courtesy of a outstanding play by Derek Hall, get the first turnover of the year for you guys. But after that, the offense kind of stalled a little bit. What happened? What was the biggest difference from the start of the game versus, every drive after that?
Yeah, I thought, after that, it was just a back and forth with defenses. Field position wasn't great either. But yeah, we kind of lulled there a little bit. That was partly their game plan as well on us. Just not getting things going. We were behind the chains a lot on early downs. I think we talked about it yesterday, just being better on first down so we're not in second and long and third and long, because we were in that a lot on Saturday. That's just really hard to come out of drive after drive. So that'll be a big emphasis for us this week is just on first down, getting positive yards so that we're not working behind the chains throughout the drive.
How do you practice that? Because I've always kind of asked that question, when coaches come out and say, all right, we worked a lot on third down today, third down situations. But how can you really simulate that in a practice when all right, third down, if I don't get this, we're going to obviously line up and run it again or whatever. So in practice, how do you kind of simulate, okay, this is a first down, we need to get 4, 5, 6 yards on first down consistently. How do you practice that?
Well, you just make sure everybody knows the situation beforehand, and you just you do it throughout the week so that whenever you get into a game, like when it's a first down, it's the most important play of that drive to the team, to the offense. So we put a huge emphasis on it throughout the week so that when we get in the game, we're like, okay, it's first down. Like, this is where we need to make a huge stride just to get a few yards. It don't have to be huge, but if you can get 4 to 5 yards on that first down, it just makes the play calling a lot easier. And you get more momentum going down the field. So that you just emphasize it a lot throughout the week, especially during practice. Just this is a 1st and 10. Let's get 4 to 5. More would be great, but that's really the goal.
The offense definitely had some inconsistencies, but John Samuel, according to Pro Football Focus and the analytics, you were the top performing offensive player for the Tigers on Saturday. How do you kind of grade your performance and your usage at this point of the season?
I thought I had a good game. Obviously there's always something you can get better at. There's a few blocks that I just didn't have great leverage on and things like that. But every time the Titans get the ball, we try to, just become available to the quarterbacks, make plays. I thought as a whole, the tight end group did well in that area. But yeah, I thought I played pretty well. I try to get better each week, and I think I've done that so far. Obviously, that will continue to grow throughout the season, but just picking up little things to get better and better at each week.
You got a rushing attempt. That's got to be fun when they call that, right?
Yeah, it's fun until that defensive end's in your face. But yeah, we ran that throughout the week. So that was something exciting that we got to do this week.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. This segment each week is brought to you by the Crawford Willis Group at eXp Realty. Whether you're buying or selling a home or a second home or an investment property, all of it. It is a huge financial investment for your family and you as an individual. You want to make sure that you can trust the folks guiding you every step along the way. That's why you need to call and reach out to our friends at the Crawford Willis Group. They are who my family trusts throughout our moving process. We are now moved into our new home. I mentioned this last week. They sold our old home in like less than 12 hours, got above asking, got all the contingencies removed. These folks know what they're doing. They know how to market your home, and they are so connected in the Auburn, Opelika, and Lee County area. So head over to CrawfordWillisGroup.com. You won't regret it. Their motto says it all, converting clients into friends. That is the Crawford Willis Group at eXp Realty. John Samuel, you guys had a different starting quarterback this week. Robbie Ashford trotted out there, and I mean, there are just times where his athleticism just takes over. I mean, what's it like playing with this guy?
Yeah, he's a great athlete. Especially you saw it early in the game, just his ability to make plays on his feet. He did that later in the game as well. Just things break down. He's able to get some yards, even first downs. So it's really awesome to have on the offensive side. I thought he did well. His first start, that's a big deal. I know he probably felt like he had some pressure on him, but I thought he did very well. He executed the offense well, the game plan. So we were excited for him and the opportunity that he had.
Was there ever any discussions with him about, like, he's obviously extremely willing, but like him running downfield to block for Coy Moore when he reversed field, and it looked like he kind of got banged up a little bit on the play. Unfortunately, was able to come back a little bit later. But does the coaching staff ever have to sit him down and be like, hey, man, you're too important. Like, it's great that you want to do that block, but like, we need you. we need you to play as many reps as possible.
I don't think so. We loved it. We loved the energy and the effort that he had on that play. He did that before. I can't remember which game he did that, but
he did against Mercer.
No, we so we enjoy that. Just that's his attitude in the game, just willing to help out. I was really excited to see that on that play. Just his attitude and willing to help the team in any way possible.
A guy that also impressed me, John Samuel, was Coy Moore. And I talked this guy up ever since, he announced that he was coming here. But it's like did he have a good week in practice to earn more reps in the game? I mean, it seemed like every time they threw it to Coy Moore, good things happen.
I think that's just a testament. He works super, super hard each day. He doesn't complain. He just gets going to work every day. And I think it's just coming out now. Just knowing we can give that guy opportunities to make plays, he will. And you saw that on Saturday. I think obviously he'll become a bigger piece of the puzzle. But I'm not surprised just by the way that he works each day. And just his mindset, just a quiet guy, but he's going to get the job done. You can rely on him. And you saw that on Saturday. Yeah,
there's no question about it. Yeah, that 50-50 back shoulder throw by Robbie was wonderful on the sideline. I mean, that's just hard. That's almost impossible to defend. So props to them for working on that. You mentioned it briefly earlier, John Samuel, but I think the biggest question a lot of Auburn people have is the pressure. I mean, the pressure, whether it's Robbie at quarterback or TJ at quarterback or Tank or Jarquez getting the football and just getting hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage. What's the best way to kind of change that approach and fix that going into LSU?
Yeah, we have to emphasize certain things. Running game is a big piece of that as well. And, I didn't think we did they load the box a lot. Missouri did. So that created some issues for us up front. But we need to find a way to get these guys open because we know they're super talented. And it starts with us up front. But I thought we did pretty decent for what we had. I mean, there was always an extra guy, and Missouri fit it really well. So you got to give props to them for doing that. But, yeah, if we can get the run game back to where it's been this year, early in the year, will be great because that'll open up everything else and allow, certain pass things to be open and things like that. So just focusing, continue to harp on it, obviously, because that's a big piece of the offense. But, I thought we did pretty well for the circumstances that we were given. But now it is about trying to get that to a bigger stage, especially with LSU.
Yeah, I mean, what's the feeling in the locker room right now? I mean, obviously there is a ton of outside noise. How are you guys dealing with all of that?
Yeah, you can't allow that to seep into the locker room. Obviously we won the game. That's awesome. That's what the reason we played it was to win the game. So we're 1-0 in the SEC, looking to go 2-0. Obviously, and LSU is a good football team. So we got to be fully prepared and ready to go for that one. It'll be a night game as well, so that'll be an awesome environment again. So we just keep chopping wood. It's 1 week at a time in this league, so that's the focus.
Yeah, I mean, obviously LSU, I mean, that speaks for itself, right? I mean, when you commit to Auburn, you think about the opportunity of playing some of these SEC West rivals, LSU obviously being towards the top of that list, at home at Jordan-Hare Stadium. So I imagine you're pretty excited about this one. You were part of a group that won there for the first time, like since most of y'all have been alive, which is kind of crazy to think about, but got a chance to really get a nice winning streak going against LSU this Saturday.
Yeah, no doubt. Coming off last year, just an awesome win. Just looking to capitalize on that this year.
Mm-hmm.
They're a good football team. I think they've got a lot better since their loss to Florida State.
Sure.
So it'll be a fun game, fun environment. Yeah, you look forward to these games when you come here, playing the LSU teams and teams like that. So yeah, we'll definitely be excited. There shouldn't be much motivation to get ready for this week. I think everybody should be ready to go.
Right. John Samuel Shenker, thank you so much for your time as always, my friend, and best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
That is John Samuel Shenker, Auburn tight end, joining us in that segment, also brought to you by our friends at the Crawford Willis Group at eXp Realty. Thank you so much for tuning into today's show. Tomorrow, a War Rapport Wednesday. Mike G will join me to talk about this upcoming matchup as the Auburn Tigers host the LSU Tigers this Saturday night. You can read all my written work at auburndaily.com, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Auburn.